between government's intentions and the citizens' experiences?
One beautiful thing about governance is there is no perfection. And that entails judging the government by its promises and its ability to translate that to tangible improvements. And I think that the government has done well when it comes to, fairly well when it comes to security. Sometimes we measure security by news of attacks or other issues as it were. But I think we should look at security in terms of stability. We should look at security in terms of ability of people to have confidence in the system. In terms of people moving from one destination to the other freely. And I think fairly the government has been able to achieve some reasonable progress in that. And I also think that when it comes to education, apart from the fact that I have forgotten strikes on the plateau, I have also seen the governor introduce a system of scholarship that currently a number of students are studying abroad. I think that has brought value to our educational system. I'm also aware that recently the governor have started disbursing cash scholarship to students, and I also believe that that is a big encouragement. I know, as being in the system, every day we receive complaints. Some are not able to pay their school fees. Some are not able to meet even the basic things in the course of their studies. I believe that this step is the right step in the right direction.
All right. So, from the point of view of the Assembly, of course, do you view it this way? Does the Assembly have sufficient oversight mechanisms, that is, to determine whether government programs are actually delivering value? And when the Assembly identifies shortcomings, how responsive would you rate is the executive to the findings of the legislature?
I think when it comes to oversight functions, there are committees that oversee specific government agencies and as well follow up their performance as it relates to the budget. And I have seen many cases where agencies ask someone to come to the House of Assembly to explain certain dark areas, to clarify certain issues, and set the record straight. And I think that is the essence, or one of the essence of oversight, to ensure that policies are implemented effectively, and as well ensure that those areas that needs reviewed are effectively handled. I think the House of Assembly has been doing fairly well.
All right, now let's turn to the administration's central political message. The time is now. It's a powerful slogan, but slogans eventually have to become measurable outcomes, of course. So let me put it this way. If we were to sit here 1 year from today, what specific achievements should Plateau citizens be able to point at to say, yes, the time is now, is working?
Yeah. I must also confess the slogan, the time is now, means a lot to me as a person. It tells me that referring to the future every day is not what we need to hear in governance. But we should be looking at today, as you said, we should be able to measure the impact of government in terms of development. And sincerely, I have mentioned one in terms of security. I think the government is is putting its base in that area. Because for me, security is not just about military presence, but government ability to create synergy within the system, create communality, create understanding. Is what is the essence of security. And for me, government has been able to do that, create confidence among the people. In as much as we have experienced attacks, but like I said, it's not the way it used to be before. And we appreciate that. Looking at area of agriculture is one thing that I attracted my attention recently. The kind of fertilizer the government distributed in the state. I may not remember, but based on the memory I have, this is the largest, this is the most effective fertilizer distribution that I have experienced so far. And sincerely speaking, it has touched the lives of the people at the grassroots. And I think the government should be giving kudos for that.
Now, from a legislative perspective, should the assembly be demanding from the executive in terms of, measurable targets, timelines, and accountability?
We all know, in terms of democratization, when it comes to this part of the world, we are still in the learning process. We are still developing. But one beautiful thing that I have seen is the House of Assembly has been able to influence in its own way government policies, government policy directions. When it comes to private bills, when it comes to motions and other things within the system. And I have always seen the executive responding to some of these issues in order to create a better environment for progress. For me, that synergy has been there.
All right. So, of course, that is quite interesting to know. Now, let's come to, the economy and the ordinary citizen. Government's achievements can sometimes look impressive on paper, while ordinary people continue to struggle with the cost of living. This is a fact. So Plateau people want to know, how does government development translate into food on the table, jobs, business opportunities, and better household incomes? And what is the administration really doing, from your point of view, to make economic growth be felt beyond government offices and, surrounding major projects? Really ordinary people on the street. What is your own assessment of what the administration is doing? You could highlight them to make economic growth to be felt beyond just those government offices and those areas of major projects.
Yes, holistically, what is very critical is effective implementation of government policies. This translates to measurable improvements. Permit me to re-emphasize, when it comes to impact, I did mention fertilizer, which was given at subsidized rates. For me, is one of the greatest incentives that boost production and also put food on the table of the people. I also see the government putting energy when it comes to agricultural chain. It's not just about production. Government, I have seen efforts when it comes to start of storage facilities. I'm aware, I think there is abattoir that is being constructed around Haipang. That is an effort in the right direction. And I have also seen the government when it comes to infrastructure. You need access. And I have seen roads, being open. Even in my own community, in Justice local government, we enjoy. In fact, I was there last two days, and I told someone, with a tar like this, nylon, I don't see any reason why the governor needs to struggle to come to Justice for campaign. Because it's not just accessibility, it's reduced cost of transportation and also open avenue for economic activities. And I have also seen in the area of electricity, the government has also done a lot through the Ministry for Water Resources and Energy. I have also seen when it comes to, in terms of, in fact, let me mention, recently the government created the Ministry for Humanitarian. It's a great boost. I am privileged. Currently, I am doing a research on social protection and poverty reduction in Plateau State. And that would have been one of my recommendations. When I heard the government mention that, I was wondering if it was stolen from my recommendations. Sincerely, is one of the reliable tool for poverty reduction. The only thing we need is policy redesign and probably touch some implementation areas. When it comes to especially monitoring and evaluation, that is an area that the government needs to work on. And also when it comes to beneficiaries, one thing that I understand is that Nigerians believe that anything that comes from government is like a bonus. It's like, some people call it largesse. It's like something they can just useless it. That is another area that I want government to work on, sensitize people and make them understand that these are opportunities that they need to work on. And generally, I think the government, when it comes to also transportation, sir, this metro bus system is a great relief on the people. Anytime I see people waiting 30 minutes, 1 hour, it tells me the value of that transport system. And I encourage the government to do more in that area too.
All right, now let's talk about accountability. Now, the House of Assembly is not simply expected to just pass bills and approve budgets. It also has an oversight responsibility. So how effectively is the Plateau State House of Assembly holding the executive accountable for public resources and policy implementation? And are ministries, departments and agencies being challenged when they fail to meet expectations? I say this because you spoke about the need for M&E to be, closely followed up. So please shed light in this area.
Yeah, I think I did mention earlier the committees the House of Assembly have, which relates to virtually every government agency in the state. The essence is to check. You brought a budget. The budget was approved. That is a bond that this is what I'm going to do. And these finances, by the grace of God, are made available. What is important is to see that such is translated to benefits. And therefore, these committees are structures that the House of Assembly utilizes to ensure that agencies are able to account for monies released to them for project implementation or policy implementation. And like I said earlier, I have seen instances where you see the House of Assembly putting government agencies under pressure in the sense that making them understand that government resources cannot be misused, that government resources must be accounted for. And I have seen them taking that seriously. For me, it's a very important tool that the House of Assembly uses to check the executive.
Now, can you give listeners an example of how legislative oversight has resulted in some kind of change or a correction or an improvement in a government policy or an implementation, for example?
Yes. Let's go back to fertilizer, which is one of the very recent activities that happen within the system. When government started distribution of this fertilizer, the House of Assembly discovered that a lot of people were not receiving text messages because it's a condition that you must meet before you are given fertilizer. And that means that the process was slow. That also means that the implementation was not effective. And I am aware that the House of Assembly had to call the Ministry of Agriculture to sit with them and raise some of these issues with them. And I can tell you that result to better implementation process.
Right. So let's move on to other areas now. Let's look at, what Plateau people should hold government accountable for. Of course, we've spoken a bit about accountability, but now from the point of view of what the citizens should do, as responsible people or citizens under a responsible government. Now, let's make this very practical. A citizen listening to us today may ask, how do I measure whether government is performing? So what are the key indicators that Plateau citizens should watch out for, in the next 12 months to determine whether this reconstituted executive is actually delivering? Is it roads? Is it electricity, water, education, healthcare, agriculture, jobs, internally generated revenue, investment, security, transparency, and accountability, or all of the above? Let's just pick your brain that way.
What is very normal in governance is government constantly review itself. That is to check if what it intends to do is actually driving towards achieving those goals. Reconstituting the cabinet is one thing that entails ensuring that the right people with the right experience and energy are put in particular places to create value and productivity. So what the people of Plateau State is expecting from government, especially from the reconstituted cabinet, is greater urgency to development. We want to see fresh energy. We want to see experience being demonstrated and competence driving the process. We are also expecting to see better coordination and stronger implementation capacity. We are also expecting to see better monitoring system. And of course, clearer accountability. For me, these commissioners should consider this opportunity as a privilege, and they should take it serious because they will be held accountable. And what I consider important here is that the burden of development is no more on the governor. The governor has given them that mandate to translate his vision, the vision he came into governance with, into measurable improvement. And with that, the government will be held accountable based on the promises it made when it was seeking for the mandate. I have seen in the area of infrastructure, we are expecting to see that we have accessibility in virtually all the local governments. Plateau is an agricultural state, And what is important is for us to have easy access to transport agricultural products to the city. Of course, when it comes to education, I am also hoping that the government will try to look at the fact that education is not just about going to the classroom, but education is about creating relevant value. We're in a digital world, and I have seen the government trying to drive education through that direction. I have also seen the government trying to make progress when it comes to poverty reduction. Of course, conditional cash transfer has been implemented, and I am aware that very soon another phase will be implemented by the state government. That is another area that government will be able to impact on the citizen. Of course, it is expected that government will look at the very critical area, which is security. And you and I know that some effort has also been made in that direction. After security is also other factors that drive progress in the state. For me, those promises that the government has made at the end of the year or at the end of the administration, the government will have to come back to look at them and answer the people of the state how it was able to achieve or how it was not able to achieve some of these promises that it made.
All right. Listener, you're listening to Democracy Today, your voice, choice, and democracy on Peace 90.5 FM. Today we're assessing the reconstituted Plateau State Executive, asking, can they deliver on the time is now mandate? Stay with us as we take a brief breather.
Democracy Today, an interactive and analytical program, brings you diverse perspectives and fresh views on governance, global trends, contemporary issues, community matters, and more. You too can participate by phone in. Stay engaged to PRTV's Peace 90.5 FM and follow Democracy Today live on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Democracy Today, let's talk for good. A production of PRTV. PRTV, committed to you.
Welcome back, listener. This is Democracy Today, your choice, your voice, your democracy. I am Munkawer London Wadak, and we today have been examining the reconstituted Plateau State Executive and asking whether the administration has what it takes to turn the time is now promise into measurable results. And our guest has been Honorable Moses Aziz, Chief of Staff to the Deputy Speaker of Plateau State House of Assembly, and we were hoping that we would be joined by Honorable John Akans, Senior Special Assistant on Political Matters to Governor Caleb Manassi Mutfwang. Unfortunately, he was unavoidably absent. Now it is time for us to engage with you. And, we know that Plateau would want to hear, of course, so we would like to hear from Plateau. Has government delivered on the promises you expected? What changes have you seen? What areas are still disappointing? What should the reconstituted team prioritize? And if you had the opportunity to give the governor one piece of advice today, what would it be? Now, let's do it this way. Please, let's keep our contributions brief and relevant. Let's ask one question or make one point at a time. No insults, personal attacks, or unverified allegations. And please challenge ideas, not people. This is Democracy Today, your choice, your voice, your democracy. Now the line is open, and all you need to do now is dial 0812 588 6048. That number again is 0812 588 6048. And remember, those are rules. They stand. I would want to go over them again so that we do not have people overstepping and having themselves getting cut off. Please keep your contributions brief and relevant to the topic. Ask one question or make one point at a time. No insults, personal attacks, or unverified allegations. Please challenge ideas and not the people putting them forth. And remember that this is Democracy Today, so essentially it is your voice, choice, and democracy. And the line is finally open, and you can simply dial 0812 588 6048. Let's hear your views. Let's share your thoughts on Peace 90.5 FM, Jos.
Democracy Today, an interactive and analytical program, brings you diverse perspectives and fresh views on governance, global trends, contemporary issues, community matters, and more. You too can participate by phone in. Stay engaged to PRTV's Peace 90.5 FM and follow Democracy Today live on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Democracy Today, let's talk for good. A production of PRTV. PRTV, committed to you. Democracy Today, an interactive and analytical program, brings you diverse perspectives and fresh views on governance, global trends, contemporary issues, community matters, and more. You too can participate by phone in. Stay engaged to PRTV's Peace 90.5 FM and follow Democracy Today live on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Democracy Today, let's talk for good.
All right, we are back and we have a caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is Democracy Today on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're receiving us from?
My name is Elder John Munu from Boko.
All right, Elder John, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead. Hello, Elder John. Unfortunately, I think we had a bad connection there. Please, Elder John, will you do well to call back 0812-588-6048. Let's hear your thoughts. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. You're on to Democracy Today on Peace 90.5 FM. Sorry?
Adamu Pam from State Center.
All right, Adamu Pam, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
My own is about money that the wife of the president gave to help our brothers in the village. Up to now, there's nothing about it. I'll let him clear me about that. Thank you, sir.
I thought I made the rules of engagement clear. We're attending to issues that pertain to our topic today, which, of course, I have read severally now since from the start of the program, and we said we were examining the reconstituted Plateau State Executive and asking whether the administration has what it takes to turn the time is now promise into measurable results. Please, let's keep to the topic. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, have you made sure that you turn down the volume of your radio set?
Okay.
Yes, may we know your
Are
name?
you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Moses. I'm speaking from Abatua.
All right, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Yes, I'm greeting you in the studio.
All right, thank
What
you.
your guest is saying is very paramount indeed.
Thank you.
our governor is trying very well. But the people that he put them in place, some are not trying. Some are trying. Let the government should try as much as possible to check them. Those that they are weak, you should talk to them or replace them with others that they are active. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your views. Keep listening as the guest will have an opportunity to respond to what you have said. You can also dial 0812-588-6048. Let's hear your thoughts along these lines. If you are given the opportunity to give the governor one piece of advice today, what would it be? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, you're on to Democracy Today on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Calling from
All right, Wanzugum, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Honestly, I want to appreciate the governor. In fact, the governor is actually the man to move for. In fact, he has tried. But on our talk in terms of fertilizer, the government has provided fertilizer to meet classroom. People at the village, right? In fact, let me just say it. Monday, the distribution is very, very poor. If she can check those that are handling this responsibility, I think it would be good. I know the government has tried. Are you with me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's my sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Banzugum Lucky, for calling in there and sharing your thoughts. Keep listening as the guest will respond to what you have said. Fine. The line is free, and you can also dial 0812-588-6048. Let's hear you on Democracy Today. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. You're welcome to Democracy Today. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Thank you. This is Monday Kesko from Panyam.
All right, Monday Hezwo, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. Although I do not mean to underrate the present administration, but concerning the cabinet reshufflement, as the guest in the studio rightly pointed out, I think he said it is for a better productivity. But my personal opinion is that if it were for better productivity, why moving them from one ministry to the other and not allowing new hands to perform? That is one. Secondly, concerning the composition of the house, though you said is not regularly available. Even if he were here, to me, I think the composition of the house wouldn't have been complete without a civil society member or a public affairs commentator. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Monday. Okay, I think he's done. Thank you very much for those questions. Two of them, as I counted, right, they've been noted, and the guest will have an opportunity to respond. Let's take one or two more calls and see. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah.
London Wadak.
Good afternoon. You're on Democracy Today on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
My name is John, and I'm calling you from Maryland, Jamaica.
All right, John, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
I said I'm calling from Melbourne, Jamaica.
Yes, I got you.
Okay, so if I heard you very well, you were asking for input on how to better the loss of this government, especially when it has to be connected to delivering of democratic dividends to the grassroots, right? Hello?
Yes, actually, we are looking at. Can you listen? Can you hear me?
The line is breaking, actually.
Yes, what I'm trying to say, John, is that we're examining the reconstituted Plateau State Executive and asking whether the administration has what it takes to turn the time is now promise into measurable results.
Okay, well, I would say on a general note, the government, the time is now administration has tried. They have done very, very well, and especially when it has to do with battling the issue of insecurity. Even though I know that we are not there yet, aspect, I would advise the government that, as they have promised, as the governor has taken this upon him, that he will do everything humanly possible to make sure that people are secured. So I think our thoughts are in that direction too. Please, the local communities should be empowered so that, like all these vigilantes, the community police, and all the other non-conventional security, if there's anyhow they can synergize with the conventional security to work together. And then secondly, they should be equipped. Unlike before that, they will be facing the enemies. They will be, when it comes to attack and defense, they have nothing in their hands. If there's any way the government can come in, because there's no going back right now from looking at what's going on. There's no going back. Everybody has to be his own security. You have to defend himself. I think if there's anything else I have to say, it is about healthcare. Yes, please, the government should do everything it can to make sure that the citizens and the grassroots access healthcare. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, John, for calling in there from Maraban Jamaa. Keep listening, as we will be putting a pause to the calls at this point to allow our guest, the Honorable Aziz, to respond to what we've got so far.
So I think I'm going to need from you to get some of these questions, as I could hardly hear them.
Sure. All right, so I think the very first clear question we got was the caller from Abattoir, who says he wants to see closer scrutiny. He wants government to scrutinize its executive appointees closer, to ensure that they put them on their toes, so that, probably checking up on them with maybe a scoreboard of KPIs or things like that. That was what he was trying to say. And then Monday Keso from Panyam says why he wants to know why the reshuffle. It was a reshuffle, and instead of an injection of new blood. He's talking about certain ministries where people were moved from one ministry to the other. He felt that it should be entirely an injection of new blood. And then, of course, John from Maraban Jamaa spoke on several issues. He spoke about security and he spoke about health. Those are the areas that he felt the government should, ensure that this administration views them as a major thrust, so that, the time is now administration can actually begin to bring the gains of democracy to the people.
Yes, I think I did mention initially the people or the reconstituted cabinet consists of people who were there before, who have gathered experience. They have come to understand the system. And then I think about 2 commissioners came back, and then 3 came in. Thinking about bringing fresh members entails moving a step backward for me. Governance entails a lot of experience. It's more like a classroom. You learn every day. And the agenda has been set. Policy design is in place. What is needed is implementation. And these people have come to get these issues at the tip of their fingers. Reshuffling them, as I said earlier, entails putting the right people in the right places. The governor knows them individually, and he knows where Commissioner A can perform better. He knows where Commissioner B can perform better. And that is what he did. So for me, it's the right thing to do, especially when a transition is approaching its end. Bringing new people is a setback. That is for me. The other person talk about the last person talk about government policies, right? I have seen a number of incentives that drives progress in the state. I'm still going back to security. I'm aware that the government said, I think, a 14-man committee on the issue of state police. I think, unless my memory is not giving me, is not helping me, that is to tell you that government values lives and property, and it has put in resources to see that there's improvement. And we all know issue of state police is a very popular thing today in Nigeria. And I'm very optimistic that if the government is able to come up with something positive in that direction, it will mean a lot of achievement, a lot of progress in terms of security in the state. I'm also aware of the agro logistics system. I think we have one in Shandam, I think one in Mangu. That is also intended to encourage preservation. You did mention something from the beginning. How do we create an environment where people are able to generate income for what they are doing? And it's one of the things that is affecting agricultural production in Plateau State, storage system. Our farmers always find themselves in a rush to sell. Most of the things we produce are vegetables, perishables. So if government is able to develop a storage system, that is another value addition in our developmental process. I don't know if I missed any of the questions.
No, I think you took them on head on. Right. So I guess, okay, there was a question rather from Mondi Keso who said he wanted to know why the civil societies and or the media were not included in the selection for these the new blood that was injected in the new executive council.
Well, for me, it's me as a person, as I understand governance, it depends on what the governor is looking for. The governor finds value in those people he appointed. And for me, that's okay.
All right then. So let's take a call or two and then we will return to round off. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, you're on to Democracy Today on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Goladi Dalshimi. I'm calling from Garam. Thank you.
All right, Goladi, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. I would like to appreciate you for this program. But I don't know, when it comes to election, you will see our political actors will come to the citizens for help. But after all, you don't see them. Even you talk, how can you talk to them? So I will appeal to them to come during when they are in office, not seeking for a political office. Thank you.
All right, Mwaladi, thanks for your comment. And I'm sure that those of political appointees and or, elected officials that are listening must have heard you directly and may not really need for Honorable Aziz to say much. So let's take one more call and then we'll round off on the show. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. You're on to
Good
Democracy
afternoon.
Today on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and
My
where you're
name
calling
is Sule. I'm
from?
calling you from Lasisi.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
My name is Sule. I'm calling you from Lasisi here in Jos.
All right, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Thank you so much. Definitely, you have do a lot of things. So, my advice to the governor is that some of the commissioners that were reshuffled just this week, some of them they have performed very well. But if it is from my own advice, let me take one example from the commissioner of Mr. Inyam, that is commissioner of land and district. He do wonderful things, but I hope that when he transferred to the agriculture ministry, he's going to do wonder again. But I think that if it is my own idea, the governor should allow him to continue what he was doing because he's performing very well. But in my own prayer, I will continue to pray for everyone that is well performing. So may God continue to bless us. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for your comment there. And the guest will right away just respond to those before we round off.
Yes, I wish to still respond to the first caller, who I think he talked about accessibility of political office holders. What I want to emphasize here is I want the public to understand that governance has a lot of dynamics. For instance, for me, even as an aide to the deputy speaker, there are times I find myself almost in a position impossible to pick calls. And sometimes you have assignments and the people still need your attention at that time. And on a general note, as politicians, they have a lot of responsibilities of their offices. And at the same time, the electorates need their attention. For me, I encourage the politicians to balance the equation. But the truth is that most of these guys are trying. The burden of governance is huge. And we must find a way to understand these people.
All right. So, in final question, if you could give Plateau people one reason to remain confident in the time is now agenda, what would that be? And then, of course, if government fails to deliver, what mechanisms exist to make those responsible answerable to the people?
Okay. The first one, sorry.
Okay, that question again was, if you could give Plateau people one reason to remain confident in this time is now agenda, what would it be?
For me, it's simple. The good intention, the vision of the government is very clear, and all we need is time. Time is all that the government needs, because we are seeing progress. We are seeing the determination of government to make impact. So for me, the vision is clear, and that is enough to give confidence.
All right then. Today we've asked a straightforward question, and can the reconstituted Plateau State Executive deliver on the time is now mandate? The answer ultimately will not come from political speeches. It will come from results that the citizens can see, results that families can feel, results that businesses can benefit from, and results that can withstand public scrutiny. A reconstituted government team gets another opportunity to prove itself, but the clock is already running. The time is now. The real question is, now to do what and by when? Our appreciation, of course, goes to our guest in person of Honorable Moses Azi, for joining us on Democracy today, Saturday, the 22nd day of August 2026. And thank you, everyone listening across Plateau State and beyond, as always, for those who participated through social media platforms and live stream, those who kept up with us. And of course, thanks goes to the executive producer, Rita Kacholompam, supervising producers, Hudungyang and Esther Nasara, producers in the studio, Titus Datas and Oman Wetkum. Today we worked with Friday Jonathan as our studio manager. We had Titus Babale as the engineer. Sebol Simon made sure that everything we did here turned out as content on the live stream, and Plangrat Tabang was our duty continuity announcer. I am Munkawe London Wadak saying this is Democracy Today, your voice, your choice, your democracy. Until next Saturday, keep asking questions, keep demanding accountability, and keep participating. Good afternoon and stay engaged.
Democracy Today, an interactive and analytical program, brings you diverse perspectives and fresh views on governance, global trends, contemporary issues, community matters, and more. You too can participate by phone in. Stay engaged.